Hi everybody, this is Property with Leonard and welcome to another episode. Now on this channel we discuss property, finance and investments. Please note that none of my videos constitutes as financial advice, but if you are looking for financial advice, please speak to an accredited and registered financial advisor. The most popular video on my channel at the time of this recording is a video I recorded about 2 years ago titled How to Save Money Building Your Dream Home, and I'll leave a link to that episode in the description below, or you can just, you know by now, click on the banner on top. It should take you to that episode. There is clearly a demand for similar content amongst you all, and that is why in today's episode, I'm going to share with you the advantages and disadvantages of buying versus building a house. In future episodes, I'm also going to share with you the delays to expect when you are decided to build a home. I'm talking from personal experience, so make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and that you switch on the notification bell, and that way it will ensure that you don't miss out on that episode and of course other episodes as well. And don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section below, everybody. Even if it's just a hi, I really appreciate that. Or perhaps you want some additional information, doesn't really matter. I really look forward to your comments and interactions, and that really motivates me to upload more quality content and videos that will help you make sound financial, property and investment decisions. So for the purpose of this video, let me talk about the advantages and the disadvantages of buying versus building a house. When it comes to building versus buying a house here in South Africa, everyone will have their own reasons for choosing the one over the other, but ultimately it's about what's right for you. Let's say you decide on buying an existing home. So what will the advantages be? Well, firstly, buying an established home, it's a quicker process overall. The entire process usually takes around 3 months from start to finish, and that includes securing the home loan, and I've covered that in previous episodes, paying a deposit, the transferring attorneys, that whole process, the deeds office, etc. An established home may already have a garden and even a swimming pool, things that you've had to pay through your nose for, through the roof, to put it lightly. If you ever had to build your own home, you would know that is very expensive. And when you buy an existing property, you have the option of flipping houses, meaning that you can buy an existing property and fix it up before selling it at a higher price. And if you'd like to know more on how to flip properties, I have previously recorded an episode titled Flipping Properties for Beginners that I would strongly advise that you watch in conjunction with this episode, and I will leave a link to that episode in the description below, or you can just click on the banner on top. It will definitely take you there. There is another episode on my channel that I also recommend that you should also check out. It is titled 3 value-adding renovations, I'm trying to remember, that don't require planning approval. And I'll leave a link to that episode also in the description below, or on the banner on top. As you know, you can click there. Another great advantage is generally the average land area and the total building area and the average size per room of older properties, older homes, is generally larger than that of the new residential stands available or newly built homes. Someone once said they said they must go outside just to change their minds in these new houses. They can't do it inside because the rooms are too small. That's of course tongue-in-cheek, but you understand what I'm trying to convey here. You see, with newer homes, developers want to optimize space and squeeze in as many units as possible. Another great advantage of buying an existing home is that you would have a much better idea of the neighborhood firstly, and your neighbors, and also future possible developments and the area in general. You'll have a much better idea of it. Established neighborhoods, they generally have the necessary major arterial routes, for instance, and amenities already in place, including the central business district, public transport and schools, what else, shopping centers and so on. And it may be easier to obtain an objective opinion in terms of the current and future property values in an established area. One can obtain expert advice on things like existing structures if there is uncertainty about the structural aspects of the house that you are interested in. If you buy a house that's, let's say, 25 years old, it would be much easier to check for defects and poor workmanship, since that would be showing after 25 years would be obvious. Chances are that it will be visible even to the naked eye. Another great advantage is if the property is bought at a reasonable price, it could be more cost effective to renovate, giving it a fresh and modern feel than buying a new one. I would recommend that you check out this previous video that I recorded, titled How to Make Better Offers and Avoid Bidding Wars. That will definitely help you when you get to that stage when you want to make a really good offer to a potential seller. I'll leave a link to that episode once again in the description below. As far as the disadvantages of buying an existing home is concerned, one major factor to take into account is that older properties are sold footstoots. That means without any warranty or guarantee. You buy it as is. As I mentioned, that after so many years, defects would show. It might even be visible with the naked eye, as I just mentioned to you. But this is not always the case. The reason why, and it's unfortunate, but the reality is, and I've been in the business for very many years. You see, not everyone has the same level of integrity and honesty as you. Some sellers cover up defects, make it invisible at the time of viewing. Let me illustrate it with an example for you. For instance, a huge crack in the wall, stretching all the way from the foundation right to the roof, is an indication of defects in the foundation, and this could end up costing you a lot of money and time and inconvenience to fix. Sometimes it's not even possible to fix. There's something else I'd like to mention to you, and this happened many years ago when we viewed a house once. My wife mentioned to me, this was a couple of years ago, as I mentioned, when we were house hunting still. She mentioned that the house we viewed, it felt lived in. And she was turned off by it because we were looking to start anew and it just didn't gel with her. Some of you might not fully understand what I'm trying to convey here, but those who do would know. And like I said, this was especially true because we were starting out. We wanted something fresh and something that we could make our own. Something else you need to be aware of is that deteriorating properties in the vicinity of the house where you're buying may have a negative effect on the value of your property, the property that you are interested in. And of course, the design, layout and finishes may not be in line with your personal taste. This is almost inevitable. Or the latest fashion trends. And renovating may be too costly and expensive for you. That's why I always advocate that you do your due diligence, do your research. I know that sometimes emotions interfere, but you need to be rational when making this very important decision. Let me talk about the advantages of building a new home. Now, designing and building your home for yourself will strengthen your feeling of ownership over it. Digging the foundation, taking pictures, those late nights, the organizing, the stories that you will share in future with your friends and family, and of course your children. That's just priceless because they are often small at the time, and it's very special. You were involved in the process from the start, and that wonderful feeling, I've been there, of knowing that you and your family will be the first to live in the home. It's priceless, as I mentioned. There's also less competition for buying a plot or land and building a home on it than there is for buying an established home. The market is quite competitive there. And you can build a modern home that is more tech-friendly when you do it yourself. Also, when buying directly from a developer, for instance, VAT is normally included in the price. There is thus no additional transfer cost or duties to be paid on top of the purchase price, as is the case when you buy an existing home. In addition, a 5-year major structural defect warranty, as well as a 1-year roof leak warranty from a building contractor, those are standard things. Properties in your immediate area are also usually new and still well maintained and modern and so on, and this will have a positive effect on the increasing value of course, your new home. Another big plus is the fact that you are generally able to choose your design layout, your finishes and everything else to your needs and your preferences, your specifications, obviously in line with the current fashion trends. The initial maintenance cost will be low, as I alluded to earlier. That will be low too because the house is new. Some of the disadvantages, however, is building a new home is, new developments and vacant stands are mainly on the outskirts of major urban areas because of overcrowding. This may put you in a disadvantage in terms of security and accessibility to necessary major arterial routes and amenities. And also, development and growth is good, but with it comes the necessary development of major arterial routes, which may add to the noise and air pollution, and the development of low-cost housing or the formation of informal settlements on vacant land in the near vicinity may cause your property values to stagnate or even decline. I would always advise that if you're a potential buyer, to look around and see if there are any vacant land around, even parks. It's advisable that you check with your local authorities regarding their future plans for these areas. There is, of course, no guarantee, and it doesn't hurt to inquire. Building in security complexes can be tricky. If you build a house in a security complex, security will be compromised for the duration of the building or in the development stages of the complex. More so if you are one of the first owners to occupy. It's then effectively still a construction site, and you cannot be sure of your privacy if your neighbors have not yet built their homes around you. And the fact that stand sizes are generally much smaller than those in established neighborhoods or older areas doesn't help either. Developers, and it goes without saying, they want to maximize units and increase profit. Building a new home also has major additional expenses for things like the architect, engineer, land preparation, excavation, and unforeseen ground formations, and so on. You need to take them into account. In conclusion, you need to keep your eyes on the project to ensure that what you had in mind from the start is what the project turns out to be. And this can become, firstly, time consuming, but put pressure on your daily responsibilities, all the other things that you might have. 6 of the one, half a dozen of the other. Ultimately, the decision is yours, but I hope that what I've shared with you in today's episode, it will help you make better decisions, a well-informed decision. And let me know in the comment section below if this video was of value to you, or if there's something that you would like to add that I perhaps did not mention. Thank you so much, everybody, for once again joining me on today's episode. Now, if this episode was of value to you, can I kindly ask you, if you haven't, to please subscribe to my channel, to like this video. All those good things are good for the YouTube algorithms, and that way we would grow and we would be able to reach more people who you and I both know would be able to benefit from the contents of these videos. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next episode. Stay blessed.